Widespread flooding and wind threats mean today is a WRAL weather alert day. How many inches of rain could fall where you live? And the earliest hours for the storm threats to move out.
And the water line hitting more than 15 inches at some homes on the coast. We're live talking with homeowners as they begin cleaning up the damage.
Plus, new video of homes that could collapse any minute in the Outer Banks. The ripple effect officials worry will happen next if these homes fall. A flash flood warning in effect tonight for much of our area, including Wake County, and for good reason. Check out this radar, a strong system blanketing much of our state, bringing some seriously heavy rain. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ashley Rowe.
And I'm Dan Haggerty. What a day it has been from the coast to the Triangle. It is a WRAL weather alert day right now. We're on top of all of it for you. The flash flood warnings, they will last until at least 9 o'clock tonight. And the rain will likely be with us for several more hours.
This is a live look over at Carolina Beach. High tide starts at 7:01. So right now you can see how that is going. Big waves, choppy surf. Well, you can barely see the beach, right?
A couple of big bullet points we want to get to at this hour. Carolina Beach has seen the most rain so far with at least 18 inches. Around 3,000 Duke Energy customers are without power right now, and the state emergency response team is actively monitoring this situation.
We've got crews live at the coast. Brian Schrader is tracking the feeds in the WRAL Live Center. Let's start with meteorologist Kat Campbell in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. Kat?
Well, the rain is letting up at the coast, but not here locally. We're in for some pretty heavy rain over the next couple of hours around Wake County and the Triangle. The flash flood warning is from Raleigh Point South. It's a pretty large polygon I'll show you in a moment. But I did want to point out the heavy rain in the southern part of the county. Garner, Holly Springs, Fuquay Arena, even Apex seeing some heavier rain right now. And Durham, a steady rain falling there at the moment. The flash flood warning includes this area that's already seen about 2 to 3 inches of rain in spots in red. And Fayetteville, Cumberland County, and Sampson County under a flash flood warning there until 9:30. So heavy rain is the biggest threat at the moment. We've got this rain band right here. It's going to continue to move in this direction, so we're going to be stuck dealing with this rain for several more hours. I think we'll see improvements once we get closer to midnight. We get a new route of futurecast in about every hour. 11 o'clock, we still have that rain band blanketing much of our viewing area, though we do start to see some improvement, perhaps before midnight for Fayetteville and the Sandhills, but around the Triangle, 2 a.m. Still some rain, but it's not that solid big area of rain like we're dealing with right now. 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, just some spotty light rain left over around the Triangle. We'll be watching our northern counties toward the Virginia border, though, for the morning rain and the best chance of rain during the morning commute tomorrow. The good news is, as you head to work tomorrow, as your kids head to school, we should see big improvements. The rain won't be as heavy, and we're not going to have as strong of wind gusts, so I think you'll be okay on the roads tomorrow morning. A wind advisory is in effect until 2 a.m. Winds could gust 30 to 40 miles per hour from Raleigh Point South. And if we look at our coastal low, it never was named. That's because it just never organized enough to have a center, still had some fronts, even though it was producing some tropical storm force winds. But boy, what a powerhouse system for not having a name. Check out these wind gusts, 67 miles per hour at Wrightsville Beach. We had some other gusts around 60 miles per hour, even there in Wilmington, and very heavy rainfall reports from the coast. Plenty of spots between 10 and 20 inches. I'll have a closer look at when the winds die down hour by hour coming up.
Wow, that's a lot of inches of rain. Much of the bad damage from this storm so far has come out of Brunswick County at the North Carolina coast. So you got to take a look at this. This SUV crashed head first into a sinkhole. This was on Highway 211. This is one of several washouts in the area.
I'm looking at the back hatch opening here.
Yeah.
Just imagining the people having to climb out of the back of their vehicle. Absolutely unbelievable. Brian Schrader has been in the WRAL Live Center keeping an eye on all of this throughout the day. Some of the images that we're seeing, Brian, will drop your jaw.
It's really incredible, not just how high the water rose at times in Brunswick County, but also how many roads are gone now, washed away with the rush of that water. This is one picture from earlier today in Brunswick County. This is the Green Swamp Bridge, and this is from the sheriff's office, so they're in a vehicle that can handle this. But you can see where the water rose up there onto the bridge. That shows you just how high that water was earlier today in Brunswick County. And through the evening, we're going to be tracking those water levels and let you know later tonight if that water is receding. Do want to show you this picture from Fayetteville just into our newsroom. This is from Sharon Moyer. That combination of wet ground and gusty winds. A tree fell on part of her house. Thankfully, nobody's hurt, but the house did sustain some damage.
Wow. All right. Thank you, Brian.
So this is the kind of flooding that we have seen today at the coast. This street here in Southport essentially turned into a river. Look at some of these vehicles just almost completely covered in water. The car there submerged on the side of the road, one after the other we've seen this way.
So let's take you to the coast now. WRAL's Monica Casey joining us now from New Hanover County at Carolina Beach. It doesn't look like it's raining from what we can see. Monica, how are things out there right now?
Yeah, Ashley, we are thankful. The rain seems to be done here. We are very happy about that. The wind has also died down, but the flooding is still a big issue here. There has been a car that's been abandoned down at the end of the street since we got there around 1, and it looks like maybe it's finally getting moved now 6 hours later. We spoke with a woman who had to get rescued from another spot in this area this morning. She tells me she and her granddaughter are safe, but her car was totaled. We also saw some damage from wind here today. Pieces of the McDonald's sign blown off, and the sign for Celtic Creamery was ripped off of its wall. Luckily, only about an inch of water inside that business. People I spoke to were shocked that conditions were this bad, many of them saying they just really weren't prepared for all of this today.
We were here through Florence, which was a little worse than this, but water-wise, not much difference.
This was a tropical storm. How many of those do we go through? And those of us that love storms lay in bed and listen and love them, you know? This don't happen during a tropical storm. This doesn't happen.
These flooding issues are not limited to here at Carolina Beach. We've seen water rescues happening in Wilmington and other areas, so there's going to be a lot of cleanup left to do after tonight. Live in Carolina Beach, Monica Casey, WRAL News.
Yeah, a lot of cleanup, no doubt. Thank you, Monica. We want to show you some more flooding. This is in New Hanover County. This is at Curry Beach. I mean, look at all this water. It's shocking. We've seen one water rescue here today.
WRAL's Aaron Thomas, who's a second reporter that we have at the coast, also in a section of Carolina Beach earlier today, talking to some residents there. More water behind you. Give us an idea of what it's been like down there and what people are saying, because boy, oh boy, does it looks like a real mess.
Yeah, Dan, where do we start? It's definitely been a hectic day for folks living here in Carolina Beach. I mean, we can start here with Carolina Beach Elementary School. The students here got dismissed from class at around 10 this morning because of all the flooding that you see here. Now, if we turn over to the right, this is usually an area where people can walk on the trail, but now it is submerged by this lake water. And as a result, a lot of backyards are now submerged under water. As we walk just ever so slightly, we've seen some of this water creep into some of the garages here at some of these homes at this nearby water. One gentleman actually taking out a tape measure, measuring the water line. It was up to 15 inches, some of it getting onto his motorcycles, golf carts, personal belongings, a lot of them working hard to move things to higher ground. As you can imagine, going through this quick moving storm was quite the experience for some folks that decided to stay in and hunker down.
Yeah, it was very fast. I mean, it was literally, we started seeing puddles, and next thing you know, it was, coming up on the edge of the deck, coming into the garage that way. So it was super fast.
Yeah, it was definitely super fast. And after speaking with several homeowners, a lot of them are really keeping this kind of optimism. They say you kind of have to expect these things if you decide to purchase a home by the coast. Now, just within the past 10 minutes, we've learned that American Red Cross North Carolina has opened a shelter at Carolina Beach Recreation Center here in Carolina Beach for anyone that needs it. Of course, we'll have all that information posted on our website, WRAL.com. Live in Carolina Beach, Aaron Thomas, WRAL News.
Aaron, thank you. And hey, we expect this storm to stick around overnight and into the morning. Kat's going to have the latest update for us, but you can also check out the WRAL News app. Our team of meteorologists will be tracking this system all night and all morning.
All new from the WRAL Live Center, we have an update to a story locally that has made national headlines, and that is the death of Javion McGee in Vance County. Found last Wednesday dead near a tree with a rope around his neck. Well, I want you to see this new video from the Vance County Sheriff's Office of surveillance video of McGee at a nearby Walmart buying rope the night before his body was discovered. His family says that law enforcement told them that McGee died by suicide, but the sheriff says that his investigators never said that. Also tonight, we are hearing a 911 call from when someone reported discovering McGee's body.
I had some guys out here mowing grass, and they got a man out here hung himself in a tree.
The guy hung himself in the tree?
Yeah, he looked dead.
Okay,
Still got a rope around his neck.
Now, McGee's family does not believe that McGee died by suicide, and they suspect foul play. The Vance County Sheriff says they are still investigating, and they want to hear from anyone who has information.
Disturbing and tragic and awful for
It's a hard
their family.
video to watch.
Yeah. Thank you, Brian. So today's storm, of course, putting buildings in danger up and down the North Carolina coast. And once again, that does include the homes right on the beach in Rodanthe.
Just ahead, new video shows water rushing underneath those homes. The National Park Service believes they could fall at any moment.
Plus, a judge rules St. Augustine's University could owe another $500,000 for field turf. We ask university leaders what this means now for the future.
Another lien against St. Augustine's University. A Wake County Superior Court judge ruled in favor of a company claiming the school owes more than $500,000. As WRAL's Destiny Patterson reports, the documents show the school's property could be in jeopardy if the school can't pay back its creditors.
This lawsuit says that the university owes Field Turf USA nearly $600,000 plus attorney's fees and interest. A judge ruled that if the university doesn't come up with the money, then Field Turf USA will be able to take and sell some of the university's property. In the school's more recent legal troubles, a Wake County Superior Court judge granted an enforceable lien against St. Augustine's University's property in Raleigh. Back in March, Field Turf USA filed this lawsuit claiming the historically black university did not pay for about a month's worth of work. It says the university contracted the company to install artificial grass for a football field. This judgment came shortly before this one for management professionals. We first told you about this lawsuit last month when service provider Management Professionals sued the school for more than $1 million. It says the university eventually stopped paying. Court documents say the university did not respond to the lawsuit or appear in court in the required time. A judge granted a default judgment in favor of Management Professionals last week. Now the company can proceed in its efforts to get the money it says it's owed. That can include putting another lien on the school's property. The IRS has filed 3 liens against the university so far this year, totaling nearly $10 million. WRAL Investigates went through tax records and calculated the tax value of every piece of property they own. It amounted to more than $100 million. The university celebrated when it got an initial $7 million loan in order to hold classes this fall. I asked the university spokesperson what these judgments could mean for the school since the loan is secured with its real estate holdings. I also asked why a university representative did not respond or appear in court. I haven't heard back yet. Remedying the school's financial struggles is a big part of maintaining its accreditation, which is currently in a probationary period. The accrediting board will make a final decision regarding its accreditation towards the end of the year. Destiny Patterson, WRAL News, Raleigh.
See a lot of our reporters holding umbrellas today. This storm hitting the North Carolina coast, creating a lot of problems, specifically at the Outer Banks. And once again, homes at Rodanthe are in danger of collapsing into the ocean. Take a look at this video here from above. And these homes are essentially sitting in the water right now. And this is about to get a whole lot worse as the king tide are expected to come in. And they fear a domino effect, that once one home falls, the others will then fall with it.
As the wind and the waves batter those homes, some of which are standing in the water even at low tide, pieces and parts break off and then they wash up and litter the beach. So it's a really unfortunate situation because that debris can spread along large distances across the seashore.
And to continue on to that, even if the homes do stay standing, some damage is already done, including the septic systems for the row of houses you see there have cracked open, spilling sewage across the beach. One homeowner has already started hauling debris out of their home.
It's the erosion is insane. I mean, we lost about 12 feet of depth just this year from erosion. I mean, that's not normal to happen. Actually, that's happened in the past probably 3 months.
Now, we've gone in depth on the issues at Rodanthe a number of times here at 7 o'clock. So as we wait to see what happens with those houses, I want to give you just a touch of context. The diagnosis, of course, is pretty clear. When you have homes built right on the beach, a coastline that erodes more every day, and months of strong tropical weather every year, collapse is inevitable. But there is a life-saving medication for these symptoms that these neighbors are all dealing with, and it's called money. Renourishing a beach to respond to erosion is expensive, but it's what they do. It costs millions of dollars, and beach towns have to do it every few years. Rodanthe, though, doesn't have the tax base to afford renourishment. So every year, the sand washes away, does not get renourished, and the waves get closer and closer to those homes, or frankly, underneath them now. Then there's flood insurance, which does not cover these homes until they collapse into the ocean. They won't help pay to demolish them beforehand. They won't help to pay to move those homes. But lawmakers are working to change that. A new report concluded, quote, there is value in continuing collaboration to address this issue, which will inevitably worsen considering the sea level rise forecasts. So keep in mind, it took a year to put together a report that says the thing that we essentially know already, that you could probably tell from watching the video tonight. So who knows how long it will take for that collaboration to bring about significant change. That is unclear, but it is safe to say if you own one of the homes that has water rushing underneath it right now, it most likely won't be soon enough.
Oh, boy. And Kat, what do you think? The folks at Rodanthe and in places around the coast dealing with this overnight and into tomorrow as well?
They will be. They're not getting hit as hard as our southern beaches did today, which is good news for them to some degree. But keep in mind, hurricane season goes through November 30th. So we've got a long time to go, folks, before we're in the clear this season. And even those systems that stay offshore, hundreds of miles offshore, can bring really large waves and create issues. So let's take a look outside right now. The high tide at Carolina Beach was shortly after 7 o'clock, and you can barely see the sand here as the waves came up. Southern Pines, Raleigh, as well as Apex, the rain's still coming down. It's a steady rain, and it's lightened up in spots a bit. Wake County, it's a bit lighter than it was about 30 minutes ago. Cumberland County, Sampson County, still seeing some heavier rain, at least moving your way. And Fayetteville, you should start to see the rain tapering off here pretty soon. But all this is going to be moving to the north and west. Notice there is a new tornado warning at the coast. We're going to keep an eye on this band. We can't rule out an isolated tornado tonight as all of these showers continue to rotate through the area. So we are not likely to be done with the rain for several more hours around Wake County. I'm thinking that we'll start to see improvements around midnight. The risk for flooding is our main concern. Then is the wind gusts. We could see some gusts 30 to 40 miles per hour. The tornado risk is low, but it's not zero. It is much lower than it was with Debbie when that one moved through, though, and that's good news. That was a very unusual system. Steady winds right now, 18 miles per hour at RDU, gusting to about 30 miles per hour. Fayetteville had a 48-mile-an-hour wind gust earlier, currently gusting to 34 miles per hour, and Southern Pines gusting to about 30 miles per hour. Earlier today, these numbers at the coast were even above 60 miles per hour for the gusts at times. Now we're starting to see the wind gusts closer to 20 to 30 miles per hour. So that's good news, some improvements there, but we're closer to the center. So over the next couple of hours, we could see some gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour. I think that risk will decrease after midnight. There still could be some gusts around 30 miles per hour at midnight, but after midnight, we see improvements. Our wind advisory expires at 2 a.m. And by the time you're waking up tomorrow morning, there could be some gusts 20 to 25 miles per hour, but the wind and even the rain really shouldn't be bad. I think kids are going to be okay to head into school. No issues tomorrow, the way I'm seeing it. Same with adults heading into work tomorrow. Today, we are still monitoring the threat for an isolated tornado to spin up. We haven't seen a huge concern with this yet, but we'll have to watch some of these rain bands that are moving ashore tonight. It's a level 1 threat east of Raleigh and a level 2 threat at the coast. Futurecast continues to show decent rainfall rates as we head through the next couple of hours, mainly before midnight. And then after midnight, we're going to watch for this rain band to shift into our northern counties and the northeastern part of our viewing area by daybreak tomorrow. So it's closer to the Virginia border where we have the best chance of rain for tomorrow's commute in the morning. It's about a 50% chance of rain and storms after that a 40% chance Wednesday and Thursday. And it does look like we dry out in time for the weekend. We've got some nice weather to look forward to. We should see a nice drop in humidity by the end of next weekend.
That is something to look forward to. Kat, thank you.
Don't go anywhere. We're back with one last thing in about 2 minutes.
Welcome back. We've got some sad news about the death of a Fort Liberty paratrooper. This is Private First Class Matthew Perez. He was assigned to the 3rd Brigade Combat Team, 82nd Airborne Division, and he died from injuries sustained during training over the weekend at Fort Johnson, Louisiana. No details about exactly what happened, but the Army says it is investigating.
Thank you for the latest, Brian. We do have one last thing to tell you about tonight. On this day, 25 years ago, Hurricane Floyd hit North Carolina. The Category 2 storm killed 52 people, destroyed 8,000 homes, damaging 70,000. The flooding caused about $6 billion in property damage, one of the costliest storms in state history.
A tough reminder, especially today when we've seen what all the folks of the coast are going through. I want to give you a quick reminder before we wrap up tonight. We're going to have live updates on WRAL News Plus. Please continue to check in on those throughout the evening as we leave you with this look at Carolina Beach.
Keep watching WRAL News over the air Channel 34 and Spectrum Channel 1257.